When you have a really good sales conversation, when they're engaged, they're asking questions, they're interested, and you are thinking this is going really well. But then right at the end, they say, "Oh, this sounds good, but I'll think about it." And you walk away from that conversation thinking, what happened? And this is where most people get it wrong. They think that maybe the client did need more time. Maybe the client will come back later. But in most cases, the decision already started breaking inside that sales conversation itself. There was something that they were still trying to figure out, and it didn't get resolved while you were speaking with them. So, here are the clues to watch out if you're getting a lot of, "I'll think about it." First, check if you are staying at surface level, because that's not going to close the sale. Now, most sales conversations focus on explaining about what you do and how you work and what results your clients will get. So, let's say you are running ads for businesses. You might tell them, "We run ads, we optimize campaigns, and we improve cost per lead." And the client listens to you, nods, and seems engaged. But in their head, they're thinking about something else. They're thinking, will this actually work for me? Because maybe they've tried ads before. Maybe they have spent this money and they did not see results. Maybe they have been burnt in the past. But they're not going to say that because you haven't asked. So the conversation stays very surface level and it never really gets into what they are worried about. So they might understand what you are doing, but their real concern hasn't been addressed, and so they don't move ahead. Now, the second clue where you really confuse them is when you give them more to figure out. Because here's what usually happens: the client says, "I'll think about it," and you want to be helpful. So you start assuming things and you try making it flexible for them, hoping that it will make things easier for them. So you might say things like, "Well, we can do this in 3 months or 6 months. We can structure it this way or that way." From your side, it feels supportive. From their side, they're actually even more confused because now they're thinking, well, which one is right for me? And if you offer them too much value, then you're also lowering their desire because they're thinking, well, do I really need this? You've lowered your authority. So instead of helping them decide, you've actually now given them more to process. You're not helping them move forward by giving them more information. You've actually moved them from deciding to figuring out things on their own. Now, clue 3 is that the real issue never really comes out in the conversation. And this is the consequence of staying at surface level. In almost every sales conversation, there is something underneath the surface. Maybe they've tried something in the past and they got burned from that experience. So even though your solution sounds appealing, they're still thinking if this is going to work for them, if they have time for this, if their partner will agree to it. But they don't always say it out loud. And if it doesn't come into the conversation, it does not get resolved. And this is why they actually go away to think about it. But your job on the sales conversation is to guide them, to help them think through whatever it is that they need to think through so that they can move forward. Otherwise, they're only staying stuck in an endless loop. So when someone says, "I'll think about it," it is usually because the conversation just stayed at surface, that they were given too much to think about, that something important just stayed underneath, unspoken, and the conversation itself was not open enough so that they could think aloud and move out from that place of stuckness. And this is exactly where most businesses lose clients. If you want help with this, whether it is with your own sales calls or your teams, then reach out to me. Because once you learn how to get to the real issue of why they need to think, then you can provide them clarity and guide them how to move forward.